Well, hello to my lovely viewers, it's PNG. Thank you for tuning to my One Piece Bounty Rush video. And today, I'm gonna be doing the top 10 attackers after the 2.5 anniversary. And who are the best attackers right now to use in the current meta. However, this list does not include the extreme EX unit like EX Alkainu, Roger, Shanks. So the top 10 list will just be the Bounty Festival unit and Step Up units, which will be the one that mostly everyone would prefer to use instead of using the boring EX units, because you know the EX units are extremely powerful. Bounty Festival unit are the more fun character, sort of the underdogs that could help you to win satisfying matches. So the top 10 list is my personal list from 10th to the 1st. So if any of you are agreeing to it, great. Give it a thumbs up, like to this video. If not, dislike it and put your own opinion, your own 10 list if you like to on the comment down below, and share your opinion who would be better, or any of the attackers that I did not include in the top 10 list. Then suggest them, because they might be just slightly out of the 10 list, but they could be really relevant. So please share your thoughts, and hopefully that everyone could enjoy the league more instead of just seeing Rogers, EX Alkainus. Well, anyway, let's get to the list. Number 10, Charlotte Katakuri, the Sweet Free General version. Well, the OG version anyway. The reason why I picked him as one of the top 10 attackers right now in the current meta is because his skills are quite relevant right now, especially after he got his buff from, I think it was May this year, and he became much more powerful and much more easier and pretty much dangerous to use to beat up most of the character. Right now in the meta, I think you'll be more comfortable fighting Rogers, but Alkainu, you just have to be more smarter, because Katakuri has his skill 2, Rainfall Mochi, will be very useful, and because it does a 5-hitter, it will immediately remove the EX Alkainu's immune free hit, and then you can take advantage on it. As you know, Katakuri is a power hitter. He will hit really hard if you just basically use your Rainfall Mochi first, and then follow up with your Power Mochi. You pretty much can one-shot the Alkainu quite easy. I have had a lot of situations where I can beat up Alkainu quite easily. But the problem about Katakuri is they kind of a glass cannon. So you just have to be extremely careful when you come to fighting the EX Alkainu. Then I'll say, if you play him properly, he will be very deadly. That's why I personally think Katakuri is still very strong, although he's a very old unit. Number 9. Luffy's brother, Sabo, or Dressrosa Zorro. Sabo is a very good attacker. Right now, in the current meta, you'll probably find him quite useful because of his skill 1, his Mirror state. Once you activate that, he will become immune to status effect. That's basically, he can't get incinerated. So you will able to fight toe-to-toe and head-to-head-on with EX Alkainu quite well. The only problem is that if you are fighting an Alkainu in a freshly activated Magma state, he will have that immune free hit. He will probably overpower you. But the good thing is, because you could also forcefully attack him as well, so it depending who will basically win over each other. But overall, if Sabo does lose his Mirror state, then you'll be in big trouble. So I would say you have to still fight a Alkainu quite carefully. Also, Rogers will be a bit of a headache for you, because every time you attack him with your Mirror state, for some reason, well, probably because you could damage him more than 20% of his HP. He will just constantly healing, which is a pain in the backside. But I'll just say, Sabo will be great, but you just have to play very strategically in the meta. Not very comfortable to use like in the past, but he's still a great attacker. You just need to be a bit more careful when you come to across both the EX unit anyway. So he's still a great attacker, I would say. Number 8, most handsome swordsman in the land of Wano, Kikunojo, or Okiku. Okiku will be great to use in the current meta, because Okiku possesses skills that will help and win a few matches, including beating up by EX Alkainu quite easily. Especially skill 1, long range multiple hit charge attack, which 5 hit. If you spot a Alkainu just activate his Magma state, use this move, help out your team, remove that immune free hit, then you could just take advantage, and maybe you can follow up with your skill 2, where it's a mid-range charge attack. Especially if you wait until Okiku reach at last 60 seconds. Okiku will be just busting out the skill 1 and 2, spamming all the time, and pretty much you'll be just butchering and slaughtering all the Alkainu you come across. Even Roger, you could handle them as well. So it's just depending how well you could play Okiku, then you will be finding that Okiku will be very, very useful. That's why I will put Okiku at one of the top 10 attacker right now in the current meta. Number 7. Roger's rival, Edward Newgate, aka Prime Whitebeard. Well, Whitebeard Pops is still one of the strongest attacker. The only problem right now is just EX Alkainu, where he has a major advantage against the green units. And the sad thing is that Pops doesn't have the power to basically immune to himself from status effect, although he does have like nullifying tremor and 80% reduced freeze time. If this was like similar to Frankie's one, that he has a reduced time of status effect, he will be very, very good. But of course, the good thing about Prime Whitebeard is if your ally, well, about at least 5 of them die, you get a 50% defense buff, including attack buff as well when you KO your opponent. Once he gather all of those stack ups, his boost, then he will be very deadly. He will be like another walking Roger or even stronger. It's just a matter of timing and being patient. Hence why I know a lot of people don't play Prime Whitebeard, because it does rely on a lot of situation to get his god state. But if you can play him properly and you have a great team, he will be very, very good. I typically still like to play Prime Whitebeard, and he will be, as I do enjoy playing him, and he's still very, very strong. So I will put him still at the top 10 attackers. So hence why he's at the 7th place right now. Number 6. Luffy and Law Pirate Alliance Monkey D. Luffy, or Dressrosa Luffy. Out of all the Luffy version, this is my personal favorite because I like his skills. His skills are gimmicky as well as very powerful, deadly. Radio Knife, extremely good move, long range attack, and then of course it's guaranteed to block off your opponent from regaining HP for at least 45 seconds, which is quite ridiculously long. Very deadly for other characters, but for EX Alkainu, you probably find it not great, because after you inflict that move on Alkainu, if he activates his Mag state, he'll just remove it and clear it out quite quickly. So you just have to find the right people to hit, like Roger or God Usopp. Chambers and Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk, extremely great skill. If you use this move, teleport someone towards you and then do a Red Hawk in their face, it pretty much would do a very high damage. But the tip about using this move is use it in your opponent's treasure area. So get into your opponent's treasure area and teleport someone towards you and punch them with your skill. It will do at least 60% damage towards them because of his traits. As you can see, around your opponent treasure area, 30%, and if you around and your opponent treasure area again, 30%. So you will be basically doing heck a lot of damage for using that, especially if you can get that crit chance increase. It's pretty much this Luffy can do a one shot most of the time. But only problem is if you fight against EX Alkainu, you just have to be patient, try to hang around the background, observe if you see the Alkainu ran out of his immune free hit, teleport towards you and then punch him, you're pretty much going to one-shot him. It's just only Luffy will be a very situational attacker, but I'll say he's still great. Number 5. Lieutenant Royal Guard of Alabasta, Pell. Pell, well, the famous glass cannon, can do very, very high damage. I would say probably he can do the highest damage out of all of the current attackers. But to use Pell, you just have to be extremely careful. His style is hit and not to be hit. Because if you get hit, you're pretty much going to die very, very quickly. His skills are very good as well, of course. This one, you are lucky to see this Flying Devil Fruit, where basically it's a holding skill. If you use this move, it will just start rapidly shooting your opponent, and he can heal from this, including building up his attack buff. If you can hit this a full-on, you can pretty much get rid of all of the characters that you come across, especially when you fight against EX Alkainu. You can immediately, of course, remove that immune free hit and just basically just completely one-shotting him with this skill, including Rogers as well. But of course, if you get the one way to counter this move is someone using knockback skill on you or hit you with extremely hard, then they can knock you down, which is okay. But he does have the traits to resist stagger as well, including nullify stun, and he can left with 1 HP if someone's supposed to KO you. So for anyone using Pale, using this skill, you should be fine. Just keep holding it and just keep rapidly shooting. Everyone will be very scared of you when you use this move. Flying Claws, if you can build up your attack buff to the max, this will be a one-shotter all the time, and you'll be regaining HP from this. So I'd just say, if you play Pale, you just have to play him. The style is hit someone and don't get hit. Then you'll be very deadly, and you can typically KO quite a lot of characters. Hence why you just have to play him very, well, strategically, the best way to say it, and then you'll be fine. He'll be a very great attacker. Number 4, CP0 Rob Lucci. Why I put CP0 as the 4th position, because his normal attack will be very useful. Because Rob Lucci does do quite a lot of combos on his normal attack. So immediately, if you realize or spot a Alkainu just activate a mag state, quickly go in there and try and attack him and get rid of his immune free hit, and then you could take advantage on that. With Rob Lucci though, you just need to play his style where he needs to build up his attack buff by just keep hitting people, because every time he hits or touch somebody, he get a 3% attack buff, build up to 50%. Little bit slow on doing that, but eventually, if you can build up his attack buff, that extra 50%, you'll be just one-shotting a lot of characters. But with Rob Lucci though, you just have to sort of like be a little bit patient, then you'll be fine, because Rob Lucci is still very, very deadly. And if you fight the right characters, you'll just keep just doing a lot of KOs, and EX Alkainu, you shouldn't have a big problem with fighting them, including Rogers. So I would say Rob Lucci is a really, really powerful attacker still. Number 3, Dressrosa Zorro. Well, Zorro is my favorite character in the One Piece anyway, and he is a great attacker right now for the current meta as well. Because Zorro has the ability to constantly healing after using your skill 1 when you turn yourself into your Haki state. Because while becoming Haki state, you have a very high chance to crit, and every time Zorro crits, he will regain HP from that. So for able to continuously heal from just by doing crit attacks, you'll be just basically just constantly healing and can easily overpower a EX Alkainu when you come and fight them. The key way to fight an EX Alkainu with Dressrosa Zorro is try to avoid getting hit from the initial activation, or at least dodge his attack. Once you get close to him, just keep busting out your free hit combo, or just do the typical combos to keep constantly healing, and then he will get rid of a EX Alkainu quite rapidly. I have done that a lot of time. Zorro can actually fight head on with a EX Alkainu. You just have to avoid a few things, and then you'll be fine. And then the rest of the characters, Zorro is still a ridiculously great attacker. So I'll just say he is definitely deserved one of the top 3 attackers, well, non-EX unit right now. And I personally still vouch for him being a very great attacker. Number 2, Raid Ono Nigashima Trafalgar Law. Well, what could you say about this law? This law is extremely good, especially right now if you use him against EX Alkainu and Roger. This law possesses this skill. Amputation will be really relevant. Once he uses his move, it will create a trait area, and you can just freely attack whichever direction you want. And the good thing is he has the trait that he can resist stagger, being down, and he will be left with 1 HP if he was supposed to be KO'd. But if you manage to inflict, of course, the recovery block, you will get a 15% HP recovery. So most of the time, if you keep spamming your attacks while in the trait area, the EX Alkainu and Rogers or other characters couldn't survive it. That's why I would say for Law, extremely good. If you have him, develop him, he will be one of the best attacker for you to support you to play in the league if you don't want to use a EX unit. So I would say Law is definitely at the 2nd position for the current top 10 attackers. Number 1, Don Quixote Doflamingo, or Young Dolphy. This version Dolphy is the newcomer, and he is extremely good. And you can tell he is been designed to counter EX Alkainu quite easily. And he can also fight against other characters as well, like Roger. You just need to play around his skill, like his Spiderweb God Fred. Once you create that shield, manipulate around it, where you just go back and forward and just hide behind the shield and just do your normal attack. His Parasite is very useful, where he will able to get rid of EX Alkainu's immune free hit immediately to provide some support for your allies, because it is a 5 hitter, so you can get rid of it and confuse your allies, well, your opponent, sorry, not the allies. Traits, he does do very high damage because he can get a crit boost when your ally dies. And if your HP is below 50%, his typical style, he won't be able to be inflicted with status effects. So Incinerate is useless, Stun is useless, any sort of status effect infliction. Also, if he can do 100% more damage on his normal attack when you get his HP below 50%. So just watch out for people who trying to attack him. So I'll just say Dolphy definitely is the first position in my personal opinion anyway. There will be changes, of course, when new characters come, but personally, I do like this villain. He is my personal favorite villain after all, and young Dolphy is extremely good, so I deserve at the first position right now.